Is she ready? The Fat Controller asked Mr. Richardson, the works manager. See for yourself, he beamed. Bring her out! With a whoosh of steam, the big green tender engine emerged from the workshops. At first appearance, she resembled that of a streamlined diesel engine, but she had a tender, cylinders, and anything else a steam engine would have. The brakes are still a minor problem, but as long as the crew pays attention, there shouldn't be any problems, Sir Topham. Nigel, you and your crew have done it again, smiled the Fat Controller. I must say, she looks better now than when we first found her. I feel better than I did too, smiled the engine. Better than better. I feel grand. Without sounding too boastful, sir. Was I being too boastful? The Fat Controller laughed. Not at all, my dear engine. If that's how you feel, then there's no shame in feeling it. The big green engine beamed. We'll have your brakes sorted out soon. Till then, let's get you back to Titmouth and have you ready for tomorrow's express run. I'm sure Gordon will feel relieved to know you're here to help. I hope so, sir. But Gordon was feeling anything but relieved. He was feeling worn down, and to make matters worse, when word got out about a new engine entering service, the others started teasing him about being replaced by the new engine. The very idea! Me, the Prime Express engine for years, and for a newcomer to take my place? Oh, come off it, snapped William as he shunted some coaches to another platform. The Fat Controller's already told you, you're valuable to be replaced. This engine is going to be sharing your work with you. Why do you keep falling for the other engine's words? You wouldn't understand, William. I've been running poorly lately, and if this new engine proves to be better, I won't be needed anymore. I cannot allow that. I don't want that. Stubborn and refusing to listen to common sense again, sighed the blue tank engine. Fine, don't listen to me, but if you come off the rails again because of your yo, don't blame me. Before Gordon could retort, there came a shout from nearby. I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down. This was followed by brakes trying to apply. William wondered what was going on, until he felt a small bump from behind. Luckily, he and the coaches didn't go flying into the buffers. Sorry about that. Bullied brakes are not as reliable as some people think. I'll say, sighed William. You nearly made us crash into the buffers. Sorry, apologize the newcomer. Gordon had seen everything as the guard's whistle blew. Maybe you're right, William. Maybe I don't have anything to worry about, not while this cucumber on wheels goes bumping into things, and laughing loudly, the big express engine puffed away. Oh, never mind him, grumbled William. He's always been too big for his wheels. I'm William, by the way. Well, it's nice to meet you, William, by the way. William chuckled as the engine backed away. I'm 679 Squadron, but my friends call me Rebecca. Well, Rebecca, it's a pleasure to meet you. Oh, and that galloping sausage was Gordon. I wouldn't worry about him. He'll come around at some point down the line. Rebecca grew nervous at that statement. Still, she cheered up when William showed her to the sheds. James, Bear, Splatter, and Murdoch were resting after a hard day's work. As usual, James was complaining. First Henry takes the express, then Bear takes it, Murdoch shows me up, and now another engine comes to work the express. It's not fair. Oh, will you quit whining already? Snapped Murdoch. This needed to happen as Gordon can't be everywhere at once. So why not have me pull the train? I mean, the trucks can wait, passengers can't. You know fine well that trucks can't be kept waiting either. Snap Bear. They'll have goods that need delivering. Rebecca was turned on the turntable and parked next to Splatter. The little diesel looked up to her. You're one of Bullied Specifics, aren't you? I am, but how did you know? That's simple. Dodge and I used to see plenty of your class when we worked on British Railways, though I never saw you before. Whereabouts did you work? Well, I was on the Southern Railway, but later was moved to the LNER line. So I take it you saw plenty of Gordon's siblings and cousins? The conversation between the two had silenced the other engines and were interested in hearing about Rebecca's life. Well, all except James, who wanted nothing to do with the newcomer. Indeed I did. Those streamlined Pacifics would give me and my sisters a run for our money, but it was still a good life. Until we were sent off for scrap, the things I saw, it would drive any engine mad. Then how did you escape that? Murdoch asked curiously. I kept reminding myself that I had a good life, and I would remind myself that someone would come for me. Of course, that ended when I was approached by Sir Topham had to be his new express engine. Rebecca spent the next few hours talking about her old days and answering questions till all the engines fell asleep. The following morning, the firelighter came to light Rebecca's fire. As he did, Bear was pulling out of the sheds. Have a good run, Rebecca, and don't you worry yourself over the bossy boilers. They can be full of hot air, if you know what I mean. Rebecca chuckled, but deep down she was worried. I hope I can do well, she thought to herself. If I can't handle the express, maybe they'll see me as unfit for anything else. And she imagined being back in the scrapyards, her green paint replaced by rust. I can't let that happen again. So when her crew arrived, she steamed out of the sheds in a big hurry, much to the driver's surprise. Easy there, girl. You'll knock us out of the cab doing that. Sorry, groaned Rebecca. She soon reached the station just as William shunted her coaches into place. Gordon was nearby with a local train, but instead of being cross, he just smirked. "Enjoy what little time you have with my train, missy. Your slip-ups will keep you away from it forever," and he cackled before coughing bothersome pipes. William sighed as he was uncoupled and puffed back. Rebecca reversed onto the train and waited. Must do well, she said to herself. When the guard's whistle blew, she started off and began to pick up speed. Gordon could only look on in surprise. At the workstation, the station master was arriving with breakfast in hand. He was just about to walk into his office when he saw Rebecca arrive with the express. "I'm not late, am I?" The station master looked on in surprise. "Late? My dear engine, you're early. I wasn't expecting you for another half hour." The same was said at Barrow. Rebecca arrived early, perhaps too early for everyone's liking. The engine from the other railway hadn't arrived yet. "What are we supposed to do now?" asked one of the passengers. "It'll be ages before the engine arrives." Rebecca looked down to her buffer sadly. "Oh dear, what a blunder this is." When the engineer arrived, he was surprised. "How did you get here so fast? Usually Gordon keeps me waiting for 20 minutes. Is it the streamlining?" But there was no time for chit-chat as Rebecca was moved away and the diesel backed on. Once he was gone, Rebecca was turned around and moved to the front of another express. To her credit, she did try to slow down, but she was still thinking over Gordon's words earlier, and as a result, she sped down the line again. She arrived at the big station 40 minutes early. William could only look on in surprise. "How? What?" "That's what I want to know," came a booming voice. Rebecca gulped as the fat controller came up to her. "I've heard all about your speeding down the line. Signalman confirmed you were going over the limit, Rebecca." "I'm sorry, sir. I just didn't want to be late and ruin my chances of being a part of your railway." "You worry a lot, don't you?" William asked. "Sadly, yes." The fat controller sighed and pinched the space between his eyes. "Rebecca, it's okay to be a little early or a little late, but you can't let your worries get to you. Otherwise, it can lead to trouble, or worse, hurt others." "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I'll put you on local trains for a week. Then I'll put you back on express duties. Maybe that will help you." Before he left, he added, "And don't you worry yourself, Rebecca. You'll always be a part of my railway, as an express engine or not." With that, he turned and left. This cheered Rebecca up, but the smile disappeared that evening when she heard Gordon boasting in the sheds. She was worried for being late, but she made the passengers cross for being too early. What a silly engine she is. She'll never be as good as me. She's only good for being a vegetable stand. And he burst out laughing before descending into coughing fits. So much for being liked. Rebecca sighed to herself. I'm sure Gordon will come around to Rebecca soon, won't he?